guys hanging on the back. And I'm thinking, their boss is looking for them. And that boss is thinking, now where did that guy go anyway? My brother's a tremendous teacher, just a whiz teacher up in Illinois, and he's taught 25 years now, I guess, in 5th and 6th grade. Gave me some great ideas for teaching tips. I collected for years teaching tip ideas, how to handle certain problems. Teachers, this may help you. If you have a student, they say, teacher, can I go out to my locker during class time? Or can I go to the bathroom? Or can I go get a drink? Something they should have done during break time. They want to take your class time now to do it. You have learned, teachers, there are some students, you don't trust them to go out in the hallway during class time. They can spend an hour and a half going to sharpen their pencil. How many know what I'm talking about? You've seen one like that? Oh, yeah. Can I go get a drink? 3 days later, they come back. Where you been? Well, it was a long way to the water fountain. Yeah, I had to go downtown to McDonald's to get the drink, Right. You didn't say where I was going. You got to find them before you can ask them. Those kind are so frustrating. So my brother said, hey, Kent, why don't you do this? If a kid says, Mr. Hovind, can I go to the bathroom? Can I go get a drink? Can I go do this? And they should have done it during class time. Tell them, sure. But every second you're gone is 2 seconds after class you sit there in your chair. Double time. A simple idea. Takes them 30 seconds to go to their locker. They owe you a minute after school. Now the pressure's on them to hurry back. See, number 4 workers, the pressure's on the boss. Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go? Got to find that guy. Look, don't be a number 4 worker. If you learn to be a number 1 worker, I assure you, you'll make plenty of money. Last summer was my wife's and my 21st anniversary. We sat down and figured out how much money we have spent since we've been married. In 21 years, we have spent all of it. And then some. How many of you could figure about the same way? It'd be about the same with your family, right? Spent all of it, yeah. Didn't take us long to figure that out. Look, it's going to cost a fortune. And if you think you're going to make it working for $5 an hour flipping hamburgers, and I'm ready to get married, I got me a good job, and I'm going to get married and a couple of kids. For $5 an hour, you are in for the shock of your life. Look, you take your hourly wage and you double it. That's times 2 for the 7th graders. And then you add 3 zeros. That's your yearly wage. If you're making $5 an hour, that's $10,000 a year. You say, $10,000 a year? That's a lot of money. Wait till you got a wife and kids. My son can eat $10,000 at one meal. We go to Arby's, we'll get 5 roast beef sandwiches. Okay, Dad, what are you going to get? I was going to have one of them, son. Look, it takes a lot of money to live these days. You better learn to be a number 1 worker. But if you could learn to apply that into the spiritual realm where you can see what needs done, don't you think there are some missionaries out there that are hurting that would love to get a letter from home? Why don't you walk down the hallway at your church and see the mission board and say, hey, I'm going to write a letter to this missionary and encourage him. Proverbs 25, as good news from a far country, so is cold water to a thirsty soul. I got it backwards there. Proverbs 25:25. Learn to see what needs done and do it. Now, let's suppose you got a bunch of money, okay? Here you are, you're loaded. Everybody's loaded, you got a bunch of money. You're a number 1 worker now. Man, you walk down the hallway, you pick up the paper, you notice the chairs are not straight. You can walk into the classroom and straighten up the table, straighten up the chairs. Chalkboard needs wiped off, you spot it and you do it. You come home, dishes need done, you do it. Garbage needs taken out, you do it. Don't say a word, don't ask for any glory, just do it. Grass needs mowed, do it. Pretty soon your mom's going to say, wow, what's happened to my kid? And they're going to start trusting you with more things. So my parents don't trust me. They can't. You're a lazy slob. That's the problem. Okay? If we all loaded up on the bus right now, and we went to your house and looked in your bedroom. Oh, yeah. Then we'd find out what kind of worker you really are. You say, can I go there 10 minutes ahead of time? No, no, no. I mean right now. Maybe you ought to start a deal around your house where if you leave for school in the morning and your room isn't clean, that night, no TV, no phone calls, and no friends over. Ooh, that would motivate them, wouldn't it? Okay, we got to hurry here. Now, you got a bunch of money. You're rich. You're loaded with money. You made a fortune. How are you going to spend your money? How many of you have already spent some money in your life? You've already spent some money, okay? Thousands and thousands, right? I'm going to share with you some ideas of how to spend money. But if you write these down, you write down 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a space in between each one. I'm going to give you number 4 first. I'm going to give these to you in reverse order. So put down 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to start with number 4. This is the worst place to spend your money. There are 4 places to spend your money, and I'm going to give you the last one, the worst one, first. You say there's more than 4 places to spend your money. No, there's basically 4 different places you can spend your money. You can spend your money on things that last a few hours. There's a lot of things that only last a few hours. Food, candy, thrills, sporting events. If I gave you $5, if you had found the can and got the $5, that means you're a good worker. You spotted it. Now what are you going to spend it on? Candy. Ooh, wow. Food. Look, when you're 5 years old, kids that are 5, the first thought comes into their little brain is food, right? You give the kid $5, something for the mouth, right? That's as far as they can think. They cannot think any further than their mouth. That's as far as their brain works. Now, how many of you could spend $5 on yourself on one meal? How many could do that? All right? How many of you could spend $10 on yourself on one meal?
One meal?
How many could spend $15 just on yourself, just on one meal? All right, put your hands down. Now, 6 hours later, you're hungry again. You say 6 hours, nothing. It's about 2 hours for me. Okay. If you spend, normal people eat about 100 meals a month. 3 meals a day, a few extras here and there. Some of you I know, teenagers, eat a lot more than that. But let's round it off to 100 a month, all right? If you spend $5 on yourself on every meal, that's $500 a month. Just for you. Now, how many of you could fill yourself up just as full on a couple of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and a glass of milk, and you could be full for less than $1? Well, now think about it. At 100 meals a month, if you're spending $5 a meal or $1 a meal, that's going to make a big difference over a lifetime. A real big difference. I mean, huge. Things that last a few hours are not a good investment. Now, you got to have them, okay? You got to have food. How many of you could spend $10 going to see a sporting event? A pro game. Let's say there's a pro game. You're going to go see some pro team play. How many could spend $50 just on yourself on one transportation, food, and tickets to get in? Okay, let's suppose you're going to go to the Super Bowl. How many, transportation, motel, the whole thing, could spend more than $300 just on one person going to see the Super Bowl? No problem. Let me ask you a question. After the game is over, the next morning, what do you have? You have a ticket stub, right? Little stub. And memory. I saw the game. But you're going to forget about it 20 years from now. It's not going to matter. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not a smart investment. That's all. Things that only last a few hours. Food, sports, thrills. We went to Disney World one time. Took my family there. Being a mathematician, I got my stopwatch going. And I said, you know, we're here on a light day. There aren't many folks here today. I'm going to see how much time we spend on the rides. Not waiting in line. Not walking to the ride. As soon as the ride starts, I start the watch. As soon as the ride quits, I stop the watch. We ran between rides. We were there for 12 hours. It was a light day. Not many folks there. We ran between the rides. We got as short lines. We did as many as we could to cram it in there. We spent 29 minutes out of 12 hours. They make a fortune while you stand there waiting in line like a bunch of cows going to market, right? Okay, everybody move up 2 steps. It's not wrong. It's just not a smart investment, that's all. It's just learn to invest a little wiser than that. Now, when you get a little smarter, a little older, a little more mature, you're ready for category number 3. Category 3, remember I'm giving you the list backwards, you can spend your money on things that last a few years. A car, furniture, clothes. That's going to last a few years. That's a little smarter. You give $5 to a 5-year-old kid, first thought comes into his brain is food. But you give it to a teenager, they're starting to get a little smarter. Clothes. That's still only category 3. It's not as good as it ought to be, but hey, it's not too bad. How many of you girls could spend $100 on yourself on one outfit in one day? You could go to the mall with $100 and spend it all on yourself, one outfit.